Hey there, Hofstra fans. Welcome to this week's edition of the WB Mason Coaches Report, right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Mike Sullivan, joined this week by head coach of the Hofstra men's soccer program, Richard Nuttall. Coach, how are you today?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Mike.
Coming off your appearance in the CAA quarterfinals, you fall to William & Mary on the road in Williamsburg, 1-0. Your season comes to a close after you qualify for the CAA tournament as the 6th seed. Talk about the game a little bit. How did your team fare?
Well, I thought we had a very average first half, but we still were in the game. We gave them a goal, and we defended quite well. We didn't give up many shots on goal, as the stats show. Half time, we gave them a little bit of a G up and you know, said a few words, and I thought they were magnificent the second half, and we created 4 or 5 chances. I thought our energy was awesome, our tapping, our heading. I thought we took the game to a very, very good team. And we just didn't finish our chances, and we had, I say, 5 quality chances where we should have scored. So I'm incredibly disappointed about the situation, but William & Mary are a solid team, and worthy opponents, and very well coached. So proud of the guys, to be totally honest, absolutely proud of what we did the second half, because we took the game to them on their field, and I'm sure Coach Norris would say that. And we just didn't finish the chances, so I feel a little bit upset for the seniors, but overall I'm proud of the way we played this season. It's just not gone quite right for us, but feel the future is very rosy, and I'm looking forward to next year already. Don't want to take anything away from the seniors either, because they're quality, and we're going to miss them, but I think the youth in the program, I think it's just looking great for next year.
Was it a case of, you talked about finishing ability defensively, William & Mary, their keeper, obviously in the second half made a few big stops. Why do you think you weren't able to get that equalizer?
Yeah, sometimes that's why it's probably the most favourite sport in the whole world, you know. Soccer's a beautiful game, and you can get chances and not finish them. Their keeper did very well, and we hit the crossbar, and it just wasn't our day, I felt, you know, and we're the only ones to blame. We didn't take our chances, and William & Mary defended very well, but we did create the chances, so just sad we didn't get one.
Let's talk about those seniors. You mentioned them. Tyler Body, Chris Greaves, Roberto Pellegrini, Herbert Beast kind of headline the list. What do they mean for you this year as a program? You got a young team and kind of bringing along that talent as the veteran leaders on the squad.
Yeah, I think they've nurtured the youngsters very well. I think the leadership of Maid and Tyler has been outstanding. They've done a very good job, and I think their presence this year has done a great service to the program. I think, as we've said, they've nurtured the younger players, and I think they've set the program up for the next 2 or 3 years with their leadership.
Tyler Body was the only returning starter on the back line to begin this season, playing with a new center back tandem in Amarius Lativo and some newcomers in Rory Murphy and a couple of other players that filled in the spot on right back, headlined by Nino Alfonso. How do you think he fared as the season progressed for Tyler?
Tyler's a warrior. He's a champion, and he's been fantastic. We're gonna miss his on-field presence and his off-field presence. He's a true gentleman. He gives everything. He prepares well, and he gives every ounce of his energy every time he plays. So we're gonna miss him a lot, but I'm hopefully going to keep him around on campus. He's going to do his master's degree, and maybe we'll keep him involved in the program. So he's been immense, and I wish him the very best.
Chris Greaves, one of the best offensive players to come through this program. Prior to this season, on that left flank, you moved him into more of a central attacking midfielder role this season. What sort of imprint does he leave on the program?
Yeah, well, he's the all-time leading assist person in the history of the program, of the how many, 70, 80 years we've been in existence. So for me, it's a massive imprint that he's left, and he's hopefully going to remember these years fondly. I think he's grown as a person, both on and off the field, and he's a fine soccer player. Hopefully he'll get some interest from the professional side. I think he deserves it. He's got the ability, and if he continues to grow as a person, he's a chance of playing soccer for money.
In net this season, Roberto Pellegrini, coming off of an injury, started at the beginning of the year, suffered a finger injury. Patrick Curry played a little bit, but Roberto got back in there at the end of the season. How effective was he this year for you? And Patrick as well, that whole position. What did you think from your keepers this season?
Yeah, Overall, very good. Patrick Pray did an excellent job, and it's a good sign for the future. You know, he's got 2 years of eligibility less, and he's done a tremendous job. Roberto, if he's being honest, I'm being honest, he's probably 90% what he was because of his gap in playing. You know, the time he had off last year, and he's a little bit rusty. He's still an outstanding keeper, and I wanted him in the last 3 games for his shot-stopping ability. You know. So from my point of view, both of them have been outstanding. I wish Roberto the best again. You know, if he gets back to full fitness, he could do something professionally, I believe.
Entering this season, you had so many freshmen. At times this year, if you had 5, 6 freshmen on the field together, all at the same time. As a group, how do you think they developed in their first year with the team?
Yeah, I believe I would have to ask Brian Ball. I think we had a couple instances when we had 7 freshmen on the field in games, I believe. So from my point of view, I think they've done a lot of learning. They've got a lot of minutes, and hopefully their experience is playing, so they're going to come back more experienced. I hope they're hungry. I hope they don't have too much success too soon. So from my point of view, I hope they're hungry. We've got to have a fantastic off-season physically. We've got to train hard. And as I say, if they put the time and effort in, this freshman group and the other sophomores and juniors, I think it's already looking good for next year. So a lot of positiveness out of the situation. Maid
Memic, captain as a junior, one of the best goal scorers in the conference, another excellent season this year. How have you seen his game grow to the point where he may be one of the best offensive players in the country?
Yeah, he's very good. Actually, finishing chances, Maid's one of the best. But if you think about it, he had a hamstring injury the first 7 or 8 games, and we had to baby him a little bit. And the last 2 or 3 games, he's had a chest infection, so that's put a little blurred this season a little bit. But if we get him fully fit for next year and get him firing, he's hard to stop. He's magical in front of goal.
Finally, Coach, a fairly successful season for your program. 7 out of 8 wins at home. You advanced to the CEA tournament. What will you remember most about this season?
I think the growth of the group, the youthfulness, and then I think that I've said there's been about 13 or 14 of our games which were absolutely fantastic soccer games. And I think some of it was our youthfulness that, didn't help us finish games off, but they've been end-to-end soccer now. People who've watched our games all year, I think they've been entertained. So, again, I'm so excited for next year. I can't wait for it to start. But I think, with 3 or 4 recruits to add to this bunch of young men, I think we're going to be outstanding next year.
The Hofstra Pride men's soccer team season wrapped up over the weekend, a loss in the CEA tournament to William & Mary. For head coach Rich Nuttall, I'm Mike Sullivan. Thanks for tuning in all season long to the WB Mason Coaches Report.